What's up, guys? It's Jason Bash, RC 24/7. So I got my L313 out on the table here, and I'm going to go over a few things to show any of you guys that may be new to the hobby, or just have never done a brushless conversion to one of these brushed model vehicles. I'm going to show you guys the parts that will be necessary, and probably give you a roundabout cost for the to complete a brushless conversion. So here we go. All right, so these are going to be your brushed electronics that are going to come stock in this truck. All right, first we have the brushed 540 size motor. Actually, I think they said this was a 550 size motor. I have not measured it. It looks pretty standard 540. It may be a little bit longer 550. That's usually what that will mean. It will the 550 will always be a 36 millimeter in diameter from top to bottom here. But the length sometimes can vary. I've seen 550s that are 36 by 52 or 36 by 55, 36 by 56. So you may want to, when you're buying a motor, you may want to look if it's if it's claimed to be a 550. You may want to look a little further into the description to see if they give the length, which they typically will. All right, so this is a brushed motor. And you can easily tell it's a brush motor because it's only got a red and black cable, two cables, which will indicate that it is a brushed motor. All right, this is the servo that came standard or stock in it, which it's a standard size and shape servo. However, the reason why it had to be switched is because of this, which is a 5-wire connector versus a 3-wire, which is what you will get in your brushless kit. All right, and this is what they call a 2-in-1 or 3-in-1. It's an electronic speed controller that runs the brush motor. It's a receiver that it comes bound with your remote control, and it also this is also the receiver. Your servo would plug right in there. So that's why when you go brushless, that the servo plugs into a 5-wire port on this thing. That's why this servo had to go as well. All right. Okay, so here is the truck with the brushless system installed already. And now you'll notice these 3 wires here. And that will be a way to always know just right away if it's a brushed motor system that is in your vehicle or a brushless. If it's got 3 wires, that's going to be a brushless motor. If it's got 2, it's going to be the brushed motor. All right, so what I went with, I used a 550 size brushless motor, which, like I said, the 550 they do vary in size and length. This one happens to be, I think, 56 millimeters in length, which is, so it's a 36 56. I like this motor a lot. This one's 4300 kV. That's something that you will have to also consider, being that I run my cars on 3S most of the time, which gives a lot of power to 10th scale and smaller vehicles. And when you get to 8th scale, if you really want to get some speed and power, you may want to have to go with a lower kV so that you can run a more powerful battery, such as a 4S. All right, now with that motor, I've got it paired to a 60 amp Goul RC ESC, which I'm hoping will be sufficient. I don't ever check the amp draw of the motors I run. I don't have the tools necessary to do that, so I just kind of hope for the best. Through my experience, I just kind of know what may work. 60 amps is probably a little small for the 4300 kV motor, but we will see in time. So, all right. If you see right here, this is a receiver that I had to replace because like I said, this one didn't come with a standard receiver. It came with the 2-in-1 receiver, which is also an ESC. So that receiver, the receiver I have in there right now, is a Goul RC brand. Look right here on the actual remote. It's a TG3. I've seen this the same exact remote, offered in 2 or 3 different brands. You can get it brand new on eBay or any other online stores for probably around 25 to 30 bucks. It's not bad. And then also, if you ever, damage your receiver, or you want to have another vehicle, that you run off the same remote control, you can just buy another receiver, and then pair it to your remote. So, and those cost, under 10 bucks or 10 bucks, right about there. So, all right. Other than that, I used a servo that I took out of my one of my blackouts that I had laying around, because I upgraded the servos on those, and it's a 6 kilogram servo, which seems to have more than enough power to move this vehicle around. Now, this is a 10th scale vehicle. It's pretty light compared to a lot of other 10 scale, like 4-wheel drive vehicles will have a lot more metal moving parts, and so they will just tend to be heavier. So this servo works fine for this vehicle. All right, guys. So now I'm gonna go over a couple of things that are optional. This when it came stock, this motor here, usually 550s or larger motors will oftentimes have a 5 millimeter shaft. This one actually has a 3.175, which was the same as the stock motor, which worked out well for me because I have a lot of pinions. And this vehicle, it uses 32 pitch gearing, pretty standard. It can also it also will mesh with a .08 mod, I think it's called. So like I said, this one came with a 13 tooth. I put an 18 tooth on because I was, I wanted more speed. So with the setup I have in it right now, running on 3S, I think it'll get 60. I've got it to 57, but that was with a weak battery, and I didn't really have the room on the road to really push it as far as I could. So once you get everything installed, you're going to see that you have 3 wires here, and there's no the colors are not necessarily going to match up with the ESC wires. You can just plug them in and see which direction it turns. If it turns forward, when you press forward, you've got everything right. If not, just unplug 2 wires and reverse them, and that should take care of the issue. Another thing that I had to do with this model, the gearbox in this truck is pretty solid. I gotta say, it's I've had no issues with it. Where I have had issue is with the plastic differential. Now, what I did when I started having issues was I took the differential out, took it apart, loaded it up with super glue, put it back together, let it sit for a day, and now let's see if I can. Now we have a locked differential, which you will notice the other wheel turns the same way. When I turn this wheel that way, it turns with it. Which, is not, I really don't like, to have locked differential on this vehicle, because it tends to, it won't handle corners very well. It'll want to spin out often, so. I do believe they offer metal internals for the differential that you can buy and install yourself. I've looked into it a little bit, but I'm gonna have to do some more looking to find out if they do offer that. Here's another thing I wanted to go over. If you'll notice here on the back, I have you see the blue wheel hub, which was not the stock wheel hub. One of them broke. They come plastic. And so I bought these as replacement. These are HSP 1/10 scale parts, and they're close to a direct replacement. But the bearings, they fit. The bearings that come stock in this truck will fit inside this wheel hub. The axle will fit in there, but it sticks out a little long. So what I did to remedy this was I put a bushing from an older model RC I had. And I put it between the hex and the bearing, because if without it, the bearing on the outside of the wheel hub would come out. It would unseat. and that would give you some problems. And you would basically just, your wheels would be wobbling once that happens. So that's something you're going to want to look out for. I've seen kits sell it with the axle hubs, or I'm sorry, the axle cups that will fit, I guess. But like I said, I've had no problems with, you know, the little rigging I've done here. I've had no problems with it. I hope you guys can see that. You see that there's a bushing between the hex there and the hub. Alright guys, well I hope this video was helpful. If it was, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you got any questions, feel free to put it in the comments. I will respond when I see it. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.